Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, the intersection of ancient spiritual practice and really modern science, the neuroscience of the Gayatri Mantra.
But let's just cut right to the chase with a huge question. Can a sound, a specific sound that you repeat, literally change the physical structure of your brain?
To even get close to an answer, we've got to look at this ancient sound with some very modern tools. You know, for thousands of years, people have been chanting this mantra. It's this deep, spiritual thing. But now scientists are stepping in and asking a totally different kind of question. Forget belief for a second. What is physically happening inside someone's head when they do this?
Okay, so our first piece of the puzzle, it actually doesn't come from the mantra itself. It comes from the bigger picture, meditation. We have to start here to really build a solid foundation for what's coming next.
And that foundation, it comes from a really big deal study out of Harvard back in 2011. They used MRIs to get a direct look at what meditation is doing to our brains. All right, before we jump in, we need to get on the same page about a key term, gray matter. Think of it as your brain's main processor. It's the stuff that handles, well, everything. Information, memories, emotions. It's basically the hardware that runs the you software.
And what the Harvard study found was just wow. A direct physical difference. You can see it right here. The brains of people who meditated regularly had denser gray matter. I mean, literally more brain tissue. And their neural connections were stronger. This isn't just a feeling. It's a physical change you can see on a scan.
And this growth wasn't just all over the place. Nope, it was targeted in some super important areas. We're talking about the hippocampus, that's your learning and memory hub, the cerebellum, which handles balance and motor skills, and even the pons, which is involved in really basic stuff like sleep. That's some serious renovation work.
Okay, so we've got solid evidence that meditation can physically change the brain. But now we need to get more specific. What part does the sound itself play in all of this?
Right? This is the big question. We know the practice as a whole has an effect. But is it just about being quiet and focused, or is there something special, something unique about the sound of a chant?
And to answer that, we're going to look at some research from another heavy hitter, MIT. Their work suggests that specific sounds, we're talking certain frequencies, certain rhythms, can directly tap into something called neuroplasticity.
So, what on earth is neuroplasticity? Honestly, it's one of the coolest ideas in all of science. It means your brain isn't set in stone. It can literally rewire itself based on what you do and experience. And the MIT research points to sound being a really powerful tool for that rewiring.
So how does this work? It's a pretty clear step-by-step process. First, the sound frequencies go into your ear. Second, they light up specific neurons. Third, you repeat it, like with chanting, and that strengthens those pathways. And finally, the brain itself physically adapts. It's literally like taking your brain to the gym for a very specific workout.
Okay, let's drill down even further. We've talked about the mind, we've talked about the sound waves. Now let's look at the actual physical act of making the sounds and what that might be doing.
24. Just remember that number. It's a huge piece of this whole puzzle. And believe it or not, it has to do with pressure points on the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, you heard that right. There's this really fascinating hypothesis that the syllables in the Gayatri Mantra are not just random sounds. The idea is, as your tongue moves to make those sounds, it's systematically pressing on these 24 specific points on your palate. It's almost like a kind of internal massage or acupressure.
So who cares about pressing on the roof of your mouth? Well, here's the proposed connection. The theory goes that nerves in your palate are linked directly to the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus, in turn, is like the manager for the pituitary gland, which is the master gland of your whole body. It runs your endocrine system, influencing hormones that control everything from stress to focus.
Okay, let's put all the pieces on the table. We have the Harvard brain scans, we have the MIT data on sound and neuroplasticity, and we have this wild idea about the physical mechanics of chanting. So how could all of this possibly fit together?
This table really lays out the whole hypothetical pathway. You've got the action, chanting. This creates two mechanisms: the sound waves that could be driving that brain rewiring, and the physical pressure on the palate that might be activating that whole glandular system. And the potential result of all this coming together? Well, it could be exactly what that Harvard study saw, a measurable increase in gray matter.
And that's really the heart of it. We're not sitting here saying this is 100% proven fact. But what we do have is a very plausible circuit, a place where this ancient spiritual practice and cutting-edge neuroscience might actually be saying the same thing.
And that just leaves us with this incredible thought to chew on. If this is what the science might be telling us about just one ancient sound, what else is out there? What other incredible connections between what humans have done for millennia and how our brains physically work are just waiting for us to discover?
So this whole explainer was built on some incredible research from places like Harvard and MIT. And of course, just a reminder, this is all for educational purposes. It's not medical advice. But I think the big takeaway is that the line between ancient wisdom and modern science, well, it might be a lot blurrier than we think. And there's always more to explore.